In the cavernous expanse of the hangar, a restless tension hung in the air, thickened by the clatter of machinery and the sound of hurried footsteps. As Master Sergeant Carter Riggs barked his sardonic orders, the words echoed with a palpable air of disdain. "We don't need another janitor, we need a technician. But since you're already here, you can start with that floor." Laughter rippled among the younger airmen, eager to align with their leader's biting humor. Yet amidst the mockery stood a woman, her demeanor serene and unruffled by the derision that followed her. Her eyes remained fixed on the intimidating monolithic door of the advanced weapons cage, standing defiant and unyielding in the hangar's shadows. Without a word, she grasped the proffered mop handle with a steady, assured grip, her expression as unreadable as her stance was composed. Across the busy hangar, a visiting colonel paused, his interest piqued by her poised demeanor, notably marked by an aged discipline. His attention was drawn not to the mocking crowd, but to the precise balance in her posture, a quiet testament to her hidden capabilities. It was a flicker of something enduring, whispering of unspoken strength beneath the surface. If you believe competence is proven, not proclaimed, type proven in the comments, the story narration invites, as the background fades into the rhythmic swish of the mop head against the polished floor, an audible counterpoint to the judgment hanging in the air. The gravity of the situation loomed large. The squadron's primary weapons cage lay inert behind the latest M-lock security system, unexpectedly frozen, a formidable digital ghost that had halted a payload of mission-critical ordnance. For 3 relentless hours, Riggs and his team cycled through diagnostics, power reboots, and remote attempts, only to face relentless failure, an unblinking red light mocking their every effort. Frustration festered, culminating in the intolerance that met this woman, seemingly out of place among the resolute technicians. Draped in unassuming blue coveralls, devoid of any insignia, she struck the eye not as the high-level specialist expected, but more like an errant contractor. Her silence had met Riggs's petty indignation with unnerving calm, and as her mop's methodical back-and-forth strokes drew crisp, straight lines on the hangar floor, unnoticed ripples of tension reverberated through the space. There was an unhurried precision to her work, quiet and calm like a deep sea hiding untold depths. Meanwhile, as the pressure mounted with the mission clock ticking against satellite trajectories and broader strategic objectives, the colonel stepped in with focused gravity. "Master Sergeant," he inquired, his voice slicing through the unease. "Status report. The window is closing. Is the specialist you requested making any progress?" His words, a command cloaked as a query, left Riggs grappling with a bitter acknowledgement of failure. With reluctance, he turned toward the woman, his resolve tested by the colonel's subtle insistence on action. "All right, specialist. You're up." The challenge was laced with skepticism. The woman paused, contemplated her work, and then methodically set aside the mop. Each movement deliberate, she crossed over to the silent steel construct. Bereft of tools or devices, she approached in silence, drawing curious stares from onlookers. She didn't consult the non-responsive interface. Instead, she engaged with the door itself, her gaze following the seam lines where steel met its meticulous frame. She ran her fingers unadorned along its surface, poised as if reading a covert script. Her breaths were measured, her concentration profound, then an unconventional rhythm ensued, a series of firm taps delivered with intent to the door's frame. Each tap, a dialogue with hidden mechanisms, resonated softly against the rigid steel. Airmen exchanged puzzled glances, Riggs dismissing the taps as folly. Yet, the colonel watched closely, captivated by a memory stirred from the recesses of long service years. The woman shifted, her fingers probing an almost invisible seam aligning with the magnetic actuator. With one precise strike, she invoked a resonant thunk from within the door, a sound that broke the tension with its authority. Silence engulfed the hangar as the red light dimmed, the door smoothly swinging open to a hush that resonated as deep as the chasm of disbelief it contained. In that suspended moment, amid the weighty silence that followed, Master Sergeant Riggs stood frozen in disbelief. His mind, conditioned to the certainties of procedural manuals and electronic overrides, faltered against the stark reality unfolding before his eyes. The logic of his world teetered on the brink of implosion. the open weapons cage a tangible testament to the improbable. His voice, a strained whisper, stumbled forth. No, no way. That can't be right. There's no manual override, no physical bypass. Despite his protests, the evidence stood irrefutably beside her. In contrast, the colonel approached with an air of newfound respect, surrounding the enigmatic figure who had achieved what seemed impossible. Groom Lake, his words were hushed yet resonant with realization. I haven't witnessed the T-Zero protocol in 2 decades, not since the desert campaigns. He gestured to his aide, a captain clutching a data slate as he called out, Captain, access the specialist's profile, authorization code Sierra Tango, November 6th. The captain's fingers tapped rapidly across the screen until a shadow-veiled file unfolded, his brows lifting in astonishment. Sir, he began, voice strained with reverence, the file's largely redacted. Name, Dr. Aria Morgan. Clearance level Onyx. Unit affiliation unlisted, known only by code name, Chimera. A breathless pause followed as he added, There's just one note, lead design architect, chief field implementer. The revelation fell over the hangar like a dense fog, altering the atmosphere with a profound shift. This woman, who had quietly mopped the floors mere moments ago, was not just a technician, she was the creator of the intricate system itself. Her actions were not mere manipulation, but an engagement with her creation's most intimate secrets, a hidden feature known only to the architect. As realization dawned, the colonel, a man seasoned by command, aligned himself with the respect that her work commanded. In a deliberate gesture of acknowledgement more potent than any salute, he straightened his posture, giving formal recognition to her. Dr. Morgan, he spoke, his voice sincere and resonant. Your intervention has secured the success of this mission. On behalf of the 44th Fighter Squadron, thank you. He then turned his gaze sharply towards Riggs, and the air chilled perceptibly. Master Sergeant, the colonel's words, galvanized by authority, resonated with stern wisdom. Never underestimate the quiet shadows among us. True competence doesn't shout its presence. It reveals itself through courageous action when it's most needed. Consider this a vital lesson. His rebuke was a clarion call to deeper introspection. The buzz of the extraordinary incident at the hangar traversed the base not as wild gossip, but as a tectonic shift, a story told with the weight of new understanding and respect. Dubbed the Morgan Protocol, it wove through conversations from mess halls to maintenance bays, a parable of modesty and capability where appearance deceives, whispers louder than shouts. Riggs's downfall was etched in the pained expressions of his subordinates, the undermined authority of a man once arrogant, now humbly receptive. Changes bloomed. He became quieter, consulting junior personnel's insights, displaying an intensity before unseen, embracing humility. Dr. Morgan, having reclaimed the essence of the mission, receded into anonymity with a seamless merge of confidence and discretion. She immersed herself in the intricacies of the weapons cage, diagnosing an elusive fracture in the system that had eluded all eyes but hers. Her report succinctly penned, she prepared to depart, her stature unceasingly humble. Yet as she moved towards the exit, an airman, his guise a blend of contrition and awe, intercepted her path. Dr. Morgan, he faltered, I'm sorry. Sincerity edged his tone, breaking past her reserved exterior. She halted, studying him with piercing analysis, her gaze measured. Courage gathered as he voiced the collective curiosity. How did you know about the tapping? What's the secret? In the faintest upturn of her lips, a whisper of amusement emerged. A designer, she began softly, barely a melodic ghost of a voice, always leaves a key under the mat. You must first know the house. Her words left an imprint as she exited the hangar, vanishing into the ring of legend, leaving an echo of wisdom to resound among those who witnessed the turn of fate. In the wake of Dr. Morgan's quiet departure, a palpable transformation swept through the hangar. The culture shifted subtly yet profoundly, a testament to the power of understated excellence embodied by her actions. The story of her improbable triumph over the stubborn security system diffused through the ranks like a gentle tide, nourishing an atmosphere of newfound respect and inclusivity. Among the personnel, whispers of her name accompanied tales of the enigmatic Morgan Protocol, a term that became synonymous with humility and the danger of presumptions. Master Sergeant Riggs, once a symbol of harsh authority, felt the invisible weight of his own hubris. The hard lessons etched into the somber faces of the men and women who looked to him for guidance reshaped his leadership approach. No longer relying on bluster and technical bravado, he embraced a changed demeanor, fostering a climate of collaboration. Riggs became more observant, seeking insight from even the most junior of mechanics, their input now a valuable component of his decision-making process. In place of barked orders, there emerged a newfound attentiveness, a readiness to listen that surprised many, especially those who had previously borne the brunt of his impatience. Over time, his diligence and humility began to erase the lingering shadows of contempt, refocusing his path toward genuine leadership. Riggs's journey to transformation, prompted by a revelation cloaked in silence, marked the beginning of his true legacy. Beyond the technical framework of duties, Dr. Morgan's influence permeated through the base, embedding itself as functional doctrine. Her approach prioritized the merits of collaboration and the strengths inherent in unassuming professionalism. What had begun as whispers in the mess halls evolved into a mantra repeated during briefings and strategy sessions, a reminder of the unseen strength often disguised by modesty. Dr. Morgan herself had faded from the physical landscape, but her ethos lived on. The story of her remarkable demonstration, once a spark of change, now became an essential part of the training curriculum. New recruits and seasoned personnel alike absorbed her lesson, embracing a culture that acknowledged quiet competence as much a part of operational success as any advanced technology. Within the hangar, the once daunting security door stood as a tangible monument to the incident. It bore silent witness to the shift in mentality that had permeated the squadron, a testament to the importance of humility and open-mindedness. To the untrained eye, it was just a steel barrier, unremarkable in appearance. However, for those who knew, it was marked by the Morgan Point, an unassuming spot on the doorframe that had unlocked more than a weapons cage. It had unveiled a new dimension of respect and understanding. Master Sergeant Riggs often gathered new non-commissioned officers around the door, his words seasoned with experienced authority. Here, he would point, is the Morgan Point. Let it remind you that the most powerful component in the hangar isn't the technology contained within these walls, but the mind you almost dismissed. Never assume silence equates to weakness, nor humility to incompetence. Months passed, and the legend of Dr. Morgan grew, her influence a living testament whispered across branches of the armed forces. She had left a legacy of competence so deeply rooted that it continued inspiring long after her departure. Her narrative, woven into the fabric of everyday operations, encouraged personnel to embrace the unpredictable, prepared them to recognize brilliance in unexpected quarters, and challenged them to adjust their perspectives on what it meant to be truly capable. As Master Sergeant Riggs stood in quiet reflection, watching the newest class of junior airmen navigate their duties, a sense of pride and understanding welled within him. Change had taken root, a change authored by a quiet yet profound encounter with capability he had once overlooked. In acknowledging and adapting to the lessons imparted through the Morgan Point, he and his squadron had aligned themselves with the core tenets of leadership: to listen intently, to respect deeply, and to never underestimate the unseen strengths that lie beneath modest surfaces. The enduring impact of Dr. Aria Morgan's silent mastery had left an indelible mark on the entire base, an echo reverberating beyond the hangar walls and into the hearts and minds of those who thrived there. Her quiet competence, once overlooked and unassuming, had instilled a robust ethos of respect and curiosity among the varied personnel. The once rigid lines of hierarchy began to blur, opening channels for dialogue and understanding across rank and status. Change, so firmly planted in the soil of this military installation, had begun to flourish. The tale of Dr. Morgan's engagement with the unyielding lock was no longer whispered. Its echoes were now solidified into the very doctrine by which the base operated. Monthly briefings and training sessions featured the Morgan Protocol as a case study in perceptiveness and presence, illustrating that leadership is not about display or volume, but about the ability to listen and perceive. Often, junior officers found inspiration in this narrative, moving beyond its immediate lessons to internalize the broader theme that lay beneath the surface. Master Sergeant Riggs, now regarded as a seasoned voice of reform, often led these sessions. His experiences had matured into practical wisdom that he shared generously with those under his charge. He emphasized active participation and collaboration over the rigid adherence to protocol that had once defined his command. Riggs had transformed his initial disgrace into an enviable resilience that impressed and guided many. During one particular briefing for a group of budding non-commissioned officers, Riggs highlighted the impact of humility on leadership. The aura of attentive silence deepened as he narrated the events once more, but this time with a reflective tone. "Sometimes," he started, clearly relishing the teaching atmosphere, "we become so engrossed in listening to the loudest voices, we neglect the quiet ones, the voices that might just alter our course forever." As Riggs spoke, he felt the room come alive with curiosity, resonating with an eagerness to learn. An eagerness that extended to reimagining old procedures, encouraging innovation, and recognizing value in the unexpected. Oblivious to such attention during his earlier tenure, Riggs now embraced this new approach warmly, engendering mutual respect and curiosity. Dr. Morgan's influence was evident in every inflection of his guidance, a testament to her enduring legacy. Meanwhile, at the core of the story's growth lay Riggs's own transformation. His past misjudgment had evolved into a profound humility, nurtured by introspection and spurred by a quiet resonance with Dr. Morgan's own gentle wisdom. Her legacy subtly transformed him, leading him to actively seek out and nurture the hidden talents within his team, ensuring their potential was recognized and cultivated. Sitting in his office one evening, reviewing performance evaluations, Riggs marveled at the change. He realized that competence could wear varied guises without the flashy exterior so often pursued. A simple shift in approach had realigned his entire leadership style, making him more approachable and fostering genuine camaraderie with his team. Bracing the cool evening breeze that wandered through the corridors, Riggs envisioned the future with a sense of fulfillment. The base had come to embody the very principles Dr. Morgan espoused, an open-minded respect for the depth of human potential. The once closed-off hangar now flourished as a haven of dynamic growth, bathed in the afterglow of quiet brilliance. The narrative that had begun as a whisper of defied odds burgeoned into a testament to human ingenuity, a tribute not only to Dr. Morgan's deft touch, but to the unity and clarity birthed from authentic leadership. Across the base, each section adapted to the unexpected truths revealed by the Morgan Protocol. In the mess halls, teasing remarks gave way to encouraging dialogues and inclusive discussions, where ideas flowed freely and understanding deepened. Teams began to form cross-functional alliances, appreciating the varied skills and perspectives brought by colleagues once sidelined. The shared value of hidden talents redefined their identity, cementing a vibrant, cohesive future. Dr. Morgan's influence became a beacon, her wisdom a guiding light that imbued countless strategic decisions. Her insight inspired not only technical innovations, but fluid human interactions that reinforced resilience among the personnel. The lesson was clear. Leadership isn't confined by hierarchy or tradition, but instead thrives in empathy, patience, and quiet understanding. For Riggs, the journey came full circle, marked by an enduring respect for the lessons gifted by a quiet specialist, whose competence he had once doubted. He watched old faces and new recruits blend into a symphony of progress, guided by the ideals personified by Dr. Morgan's discreet excellence. By embracing the Morgan Protocol, Riggs and his team drew closer to their highest potential, finding strength and confidence in each other's unvoiced contributions. As new challenges poured in, their response was always swift, coordinated, and as elegantly executed as the deft taps of a practiced hand upon a resistant lock. Echoes of that solution, birthed in quietude, reminded them daily that true power lies not in domination, but in understanding. Under the canopy of these teachings, Master Sergeant Riggs had evolved into not merely a leader, but a custodian of quiet brilliance, fostering an environment ripe with potential and mutual respect. The legacy of the Morgan Protocol was a living, breathing entity, an unbroken whisper that called all to listen, and in listening, find the strength to thrive. As time marched forward, the influence of Dr. Morgan's remarkable engagement reverberated through various facets of base life, leaving indelible imprints on both procedures and people alike. Her legacy was more than a tale told in hushed reverence. It was now a benchmark of excellence, ripple affecting through the layers of daily operations and strategic planning. What had started as a moment of unexpected clarity had transformed into the underpinning of a culture shift that celebrated quiet competence and transformative leadership. The story of the Morgan Protocol assumed a life of its own, becoming a part of training manuals and strategic discussions alike. Its principles were dissected and studied, ensuring that new generations of personnel understood the profound impact of measured intellect and the harmony of humility with capability. Dr. Morgan's influence bridged disciplines and hierarchies, creating a vivid tapestry of shared values across diverse teams. In this newfound paradigm, collaboration was no longer an afterthought, but a staple practice at the forefront of mission readiness. Within the hangar, where once only dotted lines of communication existed, robust dialogues now flourished. The narrative rewritten by Dr. Morgan intricately wove itself into the fabric of team dynamics, heralding a collaborative spirit that valued each perspective. Master Sergeant Riggs remained a central figure within this evolution, visibly transformed by his encounter with a version of leadership he had never considered before. Guided by the echoes of Dr. Morgan's unspoken wisdom, he enacted changes that broke down long-standing barriers, encouraging a culture of inclusivity and respect. No longer the authoritarian voice of the hangar, he became a humble seeker of ideas, catalyzed by his dedication to cultivate a cohesive force ready for any challenge. Each morning, Riggs dedicated time to personally engage with crew members, listening to their concerns and aspirations. This openness restored trust and motivated many, knowing their leader not only listened but genuinely cared. His efforts revealed an impressive array of untapped potential within the ranks, transforming available resources into innovative solutions. This shifted perspective reached every corner of the base, transforming the way collaboration manifested. Leaders emerged at all levels, recognized for their willingness to learn and adapt rather than just command. By fostering an environment where voices were amplified, regardless of their origin, overall mission readiness experienced newfound vigor, emphasizing community strength over isolated capability. The gradual transformation permeated the corridors and operations briefing rooms, where the once silent were now encouraged to contribute dynamically to mission objectives. The ethos that had initially materialized through the unyielding defiance and eventual acquiescence of a single steel door now permeated strategy meetings, instilling confidence in each participant, no matter their position. Conversations further extended beyond technical schemas to include holistic approaches, embedding Dr. Morgan's ideals in every plan drawn and executed. The silent nuances of her elegant solution inspired a generation to see beyond immediate fixes, understanding the broader implications of cohesive teamwork. For Master Sergeant Riggs, the legacy of the Morgan Protocol was a personal commitment to mentoring future leaders. Candidates not only skilled in their respective areas, but also attuned to quiet proficiency and the power of collective problem-solving. Through countless interactions, he emphasized that true leadership was born out of an endless curiosity, paired with the courage to listen deeply. Within this evolving landscape, the energy on the base converted into a celebration of transformative progress, no longer bound by previous assumptions. The memory of Dr. Aria Morgan, though distant, resonated strongly across missions, acting as a guide and reminder of what true collaboration and intelligence could achieve. Overall, the reflection of her legacy continued to challenge the status quo, proving that whispered wisdom carried the strength to reshape destinies. Her unpretentious yet profound approach to problem-solving became an aspirational standard not confined to the annals of history, but actively shaping the current and future trajectory of the entire base. A testament to the undeniable power of skilled subtlety and the indelible impact of silent strength.